prepared as I can be.
Same here.
Yeah,
Same
man.
here.
Lost Boys.
Yeah, I have one major note, and then I'm all Mister. Yeah, that sounded good. Yeah, you got a good point there, Anthony. Way to go, Jesse. That's good.
I say we jump right into it.
All right, well,
Yeah.
let you start.
Well, here we are. Another deep dive here on Pelican Production Studio. We have Anthony Dugo from Better Late. We'll have a link to his YouTube down in the description. We have Paul Kelly, as always, and me, Jesse. We're here to talk about Lost Boys, the movie from what year was that?
87.
1987. It's been a long time since I've seen this one. And
I had never seen it until I watched it days ago.
Okay, so we got a freshie.
A noob.
What's your first impression there, Paul?
Very good film. I would easily give it a 7. The idea of the film was very, the subtext of the film is tremendous. I love where they went symbolically, what that film means in the relating back to us as the viewers. Really, really worthwhile story. And I enjoyed all of the performances. It was especially fun to see Edward Herrmann in this kind of role. I mean, I'm used to him being Franklin Delano Roosevelt and the dad on Gilmore Girls and stuff like that, where he's playing a stuffy New England.
That's why it works, though, because he's known for that, and I don't think anybody had ever seen him do anything like that. So this was a fun thing.
That was just, and he did it. He did the transition fantastic.
That was awesome.
He's a great actor. Well, he's a great actor. Rest in peace. He was a great actor.
How about you, Anthony?
It's one of my favorite movies, but I think it's because I loved it so much as a kid. It's hard for me to tell if I think it's as good as I, as
thought it was, right?
Yeah.
Oh, do you have a different opinion?
It's like an 8 or a 9. Like I love that movie so much. You know what I mean?
It's very well made.
Yeah, I appreciate how little violence is actually in the movie, but it still makes you uncomfortable at times. Like you feel the violence, but you don't actually see most of it until the very end of the movie, which I kind of appreciate.
That's
because
true. It makes it work better, and it's a lost art form. They don't leave much to the imagination anymore.
Yeah.
There's an adage that I don't know if it was Steven Spielberg said it, but so if it was, somebody said it to him. When you're editing Jaws, don't show Jaws until the third reel. And this film obeys that. It slowly dials up the atmosphere. And it's because it starts out super benign.
Yeah, I loved it. And the Lost Boys idea, all the imagery and everything, it's a standout 80s horror comedy. This was directed by Joel Schumacher?
Schumacher.
Is that how you say that? And produced by Harvey Bernhard.
Richard Dreyfuss. Yeah, that was his other big thing. He's done a bunch. He did a bunch of stuff. He's not that great a director. This is one of his better works.
Jason Patric at the time was like the up and coming heartthrob dude. You had Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. They were already big child stars at the time. Kiefer Sutherland comes in right after Stand By Me, and I liked how Corey Feldman and Corey Haim, their characters are called Edgar and Allan, the Frog Brothers. It was very funny. Edgar Allan Frog.
That was awesome. That was really.
We had
cool.
Jamie Gertz from she was famous from Less Than Zero and a couple other things, playing Star.
Twister.
And this movie has a balance of horror, comedy, teen drama, and like vampire mythology.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. And it seemed as I reviewed the mythology, it seemed that they'd done their research well, and that this kind of laid down the groundwork, the foundation. How many other vampire properties have we seen since then, which either obey that premise or they try and deviate from it, the way the Vampire Diaries did with getting the soul back and forth, and I think Angel and Buffy did the same thing.
Right.
But those all owe their very existence to the Lost Boys, because this was on a deeper level than those. This is an actual film. I mean, This had a narrative, and the plot means something more than just
Well, let's
the
talk
telling
about
of the
that first
story.
plot breakdown in the act, like the first act, basically. Anthony, they're arriving in Santa Clara. Michael and his mother. That opening, by the way, was amazing.
Oh yeah.
The montage and everything. So Michael and his mother moved to Santa Clara. We see the thing says it's the murder capital of the world on the back of the sign. They're showing kind of light. It looks like Venice Beach, but like mixed with like, I don't know, mountain
Yeah.
type stuff.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
Well, the whole beginning is, I mean, it's pretty on the nose, but everything's about lost children, like all of the signs
Lots
about
of
missing
missing
kids,
children. That's right.
counterculture stuff all over the place, both with the vampires, but and with just the people hanging out on the beach, on the boardwalk, all the punk rockers and hippies and potheads, and so the whole beginning lays out counterculture and like the youth of that day,
Yeah.
pretty much. So,
And I have
um,
some images of that beginning as we're talking. I'll be switching around to a lot of the different images in our background, so people have some context.
yeah, and then the song was perfect. People Are
Oh, that
Strange.
was a big. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
people are strange
The
from the
Doors.
Doors. Yeah, but
yeah.
the other one too is
That was an old song by then.
what's that other song that you were talking about before, Anthony?
I think it's called Little Sister.
Hey, little sister.
Yeah,
I don't even know what they're saying. Thou shall not something.
Thou Shall Not Fall. Though, yeah, I didn't
It's
look up
like
the
some
lyrics.
made up thou shall not, some different thing.
Yeah,
It's not like
but I
he's
did
like
watch
quoting
a
the Bible.
little interview with the guy that wrote the song, and he didn't plan on it being such a big hit
Right.
at all. He just wrote a song for a movie, and then all of a sudden it was the #1 song. So pretty crazy, but it is a good song.
Banger. I
Movie.
mean, the score was a banger right through the whole film.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
that wasn't a problem. The thing I got from the opening was very much a feeling of the Pleasure Dome. When it says Lost Boys, first thing that comes to mind is Peter Pan for me. And this was anti Peter Pan.
And I think that they kind of did a little, showed a little bit of that kind of Peter Pan thing going on with the way they were living, kind of.
Kind of. I was thinking it was more along the lines of Pinocchio's Pleasure Island, though.
Yeah.
And
I had the same thought. Like I thought the same thing of the one from the original Pinocchio cartoon, right, where they take them off the boys to that place, like the
and they all
carnival.
turn
It's the
into
carnival.
donkeys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
and so
Good, good
yeah. This
analogy
is
there.
the deal. Is that the thing I found interesting was I saw this as kind of an indictment of aimless counterculture. That you're saying if you don't have a reason to be counterculture, you're going to end up food for somebody. This is not going to go right for you. You're just going to be.
Did you guys
You're
notice
just going to be.
Bill from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? He's like one of the vampires. Did you guys notice that?
Alex Winter, yeah, he was the one that gets staked first. Yeah, I saw that. He's listed as Alexander Winter just to throw people off, I guess, or he hadn't really. He did. The Alex worked so much better. Yeah, he didn't have any lines. I think he had like 2 or 3 lines.
That was the strangest part of the movie for me. I forgot how little character development there is for all of the other vampires.
Yeah, they're just kind of like ride-alongs. It's mostly all. What's his name? What was Kiefer's?
David.
David.
Yeah.
And then there's Paul and I forget the other guy's name. They were the 2 of them were interchangeable. I mean, as we say, they were just henchman 1 and henchman 2, really, and they got to do a lot of whooping and stuff, and that's pretty much their contribution. One of the things that I noticed was this film was obviously made on a shoestring, obviously,
which is what's so amazing about it.
That's one of the things, I appreciated that when I saw how are they going to handle the vampires getting around the way they're supposed to, so how about we fly as the vampires?
Yeah.
And that saves them having to even do anything about depicting that. And also then now you're participating in the film. Now you are kind of a predator. And how does that feel?
Yeah.
And now how do you feel about the relationships of all these things? Are you partly culpable now?
Yeah.
And so it's a great way to bring the audience into the film. Good job.
Yeah. And it still holds up too. Like it still feels relevant.
I also enjoyed the 2 adults, Diane Wiest and Bernard Hughes.
They're so
Mom,
great.
Bernard Hughes doesn't normally play a character as wacky as this. I'm sure he had time of his life playing this role.
Is that
Yeah,
Grandpa?
what was he?
Yeah,
What else was he in?
everything. I can't. I
He's in
mean,
a
I
ton
have
of
to look.
stuff,
Yeah, he's done like 100 movies, man,
right?
or he did like 100
And
movies.
then what's her name? Weiss, is that her last name?
Yeah, Dan Weist. She did a lot of Woody Allen stuff,
She
and
always
she
looked. I always thought she was a very nice, cute lady.
at best.
And well, I mean, even with her short hair, she looks very nice with her that cut. She pulls that haircut off.
She has such an awkward. She's kind of like the woman who should be married to Billy Bob Thornton. Is kind of the way I look at it.
I don't know.
And
You haven't watched Landman.
no, but I did see the new commercial he did for T-Mobile, and he's got that look that would really fit Diane's.
You would laugh at Landman. Landman is hilarious. His wife is his ex-wife actually, who comes back to him and stuff. It's just hilarious.
I got so much now that I'm catching up on so much right now. I'm starting to get wondering if I'm going to keep up.
That Gilded Age is amazing too, bro. Just a little side note. That was a lot of fun.
Can't wait for season 4.
Highly recommend.
Can't wait. I mean, that's, and of course I'm going to try to go to the preview of Downton Abbey on the 10th.
Right. So we have the other thing I noticed was like this little foggy, neon-soaked type of setting, and that really kind of set the role through the whole mood throughout the movie. It actually kind of reminded me a little bit of E.T. With the bright lights and the kind of smoky kind of fog, and like also some other whenever you have with they're riding the dirt bikes out in the dark.
That was one of my favorite scenes of the movie.
Oh, easily. That was and the whole fog thing.
Get really far away from when
the other fog moment was when they're hanging from the tracks.
Oh, that's the one I was just going to refer to.
Yeah.
And that they and of course when he falls, he realizes now he's kind of invulnerable now.
Yeah.
And I was just saying to Anthony that that I was thinking more in terms of, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Carnival of Souls.
No.
It's like from 1961, 2, 3, somewhere in there. Yeah. It's horror noir set in a carnival, a very decrepit one, along the lines of like a descendant of Freaks in some sense.
Okay.
Browning. And so this has that kind of, or even something wicked this way comes. A demented carnival, because that's what we're talking about here is a world where all of these people have given themselves over to self-indulgence altogether. Even all the jobs involve helping somebody else indulge themselves. There's nothing being made. There's no wealth being created here. There's nothing being produced. There's nothing being made. It's just using and consuming. And so it's the back end of all civilization. And so it's kind of an eternal adolescence. So the lost boys simply become the ne plus ultra of what everybody else is going to become one way or another, whether they're bit or not. So it was in that sense, it's kind of a depressing outlook when you think about it. And it serves as kind of a warning where they're saying, don't go here, man. Do not go here. Have all things, do not indulge yourself like this. This is the end point of that. Ain't gonna end well.
There's like these early hints of vampirism early on with David's mysterious behavior, and it's kind of like the rules of Santa Clara are obviously different, and everyone can kind of tell, but nobody talks about it type of deal. And Star's warning, Michael in the beginning, kind of, being the lure as well as the warning at the same time.
Yeah, we don't know he's the lure, though. We don't know that for quite a while.
She's the lure.
It seems like, but in fact, that's the lure. Well, actually, she's luring him, and he's the lure for somebody else.
That's what I'm saying. She's the lure, but later, of course, we find out they're all being used to bring in the whole family.
Right. Yeah. Right. Especially the mother.
Right, but we're back into where we're talking about the foggy thing and the difference in the rules, kind of like the mood of the town and of Santa, Carla. That's Santa Carla.
Santa Carla.
Is that a real place, Santa Carla?
There's a Santa Clara, but it's on San Francisco Bay, not on the ocean.
I see. So they're kind of making it like that.
Yeah, Santa Carla is like that. The town they had in Veronica Mars, Neptune City or whatever they called that place. It's located right where, say, Oceanside would be, but And they even use the name Oceanside at one point in the show, just to say
Which
this is
I
different.
know that area really well.
So yeah, and I know it pretty well too. So this is an imaginary California South Coast town, something like an Orange County, San Diego County feel for me, though, because though nobody goes in the water, so maybe it could be up around Santa Cruz, up around Monterey. That water's cold up there.
I mean, how many times did they show missing children in this movie?
Yeah, they did it on the back of the milk carton. They made a real point of it. I mean, it was like, like the trumpets went off or something.
Well,
remember?
I mean, they always showed, like, you always saw a picture of it in the background. Like right now, I'm looking at a picture of a milk carton that was sitting on the counter inside the house.
So what I'm referring to.
Missing children on the back. Then they have all these like pictures posted everywhere. And of course, there's a child with them.
Yes, there is.
That they have one
little
still a half that hasn't done the final kill to be completely turned yet.
Of course, yeah, he goes, doesn't he?
Well, they all do. They can all turn into that, but even Michael turns into that too when they take him out, and they're trying to awaken it and get that bloodlust going so he can make that final seal, but
right.
He obviously doesn't do it again. He doesn't do it.
It backfires. That's the thing. It just so they're dealing with I guess the idea of becoming a vampire in this context is your soul slowly drains away, and otherwise you can't account for him being able to fight it, or Star being able to fight it.
Yes. Yeah, she doesn't have it either, does she? Totally.
No. Well, she is a vampire as well, but she
hasn't fed yet.
No, I don't think she has, and they're trying to make her, and she won't do it.
No, and then remember, she comes out and defends the little kid at the end.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying about the residual of soul in an almost vampire is that's the teetering point. And it's like, and again, are you going to fully surrender yourself to this world, to this way of life? If you do, your soul and you're now undead.
Well, here's where people might not have figured out what was going on. They're probably wondering, how is it that the vampires were let in? How are they able to get into the house?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. When he comes, he says to Michael, since you're the man of the house, I'll ask you to invite me in. And he invited him in for that first date that they ruined. Right. They ruined, and it made everything void that they tried on him because he had invited them in. They didn't know, the kids that they were trying to expose him didn't know that they had invited him in, but so nothing worked. But that's why the vampires were able to go in there later and just come into the house.
Yeah.
Because that's you got to kind of wonder, why is it that no one ever invited what you thought was the leader, which was Kiefer Sutherland. No one ever invited him in. So you kind of miss it if you're not paying attention.
Well, the Frog Brothers had pegged Max as being.
They did. I mean, they had it right.
They had it nailed. They just they forgot.
They didn't see Michael.
The mother had invited Max in.
It's Michael.
Oh, it's
Michael
right.
was leaving the house, and they didn't see Michael say, please, by all means, come in. He invited him in, and he was not yet transformed yet. So he's like, come on in. And the whole thing, now it all makes sense at the end, that he was trying to get in. That even that first night when they come in, he had pegged her the first time when that kid comes in. And there's another tip off. His store, the little kid comes in, okay, and says, I lost my mom.
Oh, yeah.
And there he is, the head of the store that rents the videotapes, and the kids are coming in there and getting lost.
That's why he has that store, that's his spider web.
Yeah, his little but that's where he sees her and then from that point on, which is right in the beginning of the movie, he's enacting this whole plan to seduce and he makes it seem like he's not associated with them. I thought I said never to come in here.
Yeah.
Remember? Tells him.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because he wants to keep a certain front image.
I honestly was stunned at the quality of the script. I really didn't expect that. I know that you recommended it, Jesse. You said, we got to do this film.
But it's actually Anthony who recommended it.
Well, there you go.
He's like, let's do Lost Boys. I said, let's do it. That sounds like a great one.
I didn't hear it from Anthony. Didn't come to me. Just I'm I'm tertiary here. That's fine.
Not at all. I really like that there's two surprise endings in this movie.
Right.
Yep.
I think that's awesome. And the one surprise, the final surprise is actually surprising. You could kind of figure out who the main vampire is, especially after the scene with the dog.
The Hell
And
Dog. Well, that
yeah.
also confirmed you're talking about the Hellhound. Yeah.
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 So that kind of confirms it. You're still not quite sure, but that final surprise ending is actually a surprise ending to me. That final line that Grandpa gives.
All
I know.
the damn vampires.
It's like such a good line,
And
man.
he like opens a beer or something,
Yeah.
or a soda or something.
There's actually
You guys
there's two
recognize? Did you guys ever see The Secret of Nim?
Yes.
a long time ago. Yeah.
Mr. Ages, the little mouse that's like the scientist guy that gets the little medication. That's him. Same voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Edward Herman?
Well, yeah, the guy, the old grandpa guy.
Oh,
He
interesting.
saves the day. I was watching it with my son. He called it too. Yeah.
That's a fine film.
All the damn vampires.
Yeah, that's Don Bluth's greatest film.
Which one? Oh, that's a great. Hey, we should do a review on that. Honestly, it's not just for kids.
Not at all.
It's like a family kind of film.
But it isn't like Plague Dogs. I mean, Plague Dogs goes too far. It really balances right along the razor blade of the dark and the light.
Back
so
to
kids
the
can enjoy it
Mhm.
without realizing the deeper subtext that adults can go, oh yeah, I get that. Yeah, that's.
I think we
Boy.
should definitely do that one. But
That's
back to what we were saying about the two endings, Anthony.
Yeah. Oh, the two surprises. I always like it when movies have a couple of different surprises.
So
in
what
them.
is the two ending thing that you're pointing out?
Well, the one surprise is that you find out what's his name?
David?
No, Max
Max.
Yeah, that Max is the head
is the
vampire.
leader of the vampires, and then you find out at the end that Grandpa knew there were vampires the whole time. I mean, he was prepared the whole time.
Well, that's why he drives right through the wall. Yeah.
And there's a scene where he's actually sharpening his fence.
Yes.
Like
I picked that up. That was
He
one
was getting ready, wasn't he?
giveaway.
Yeah.
That was a big giveaway. I went, oh no, Grandpa knows what's going on. He
knows
just
what's
doesn't
up.
necessarily know who's who, but he knows there's the game's afoot, and he knows what needs to be done. So that was like, oh, just gosh, I just love when a plot comes together. I really do.
I think another amazing thing about this movie, I think a lot of movies in the 80s, even like E.T. and stuff, is that nothing feels like a set. Like everything feels lived in, even if it's just a couple of, I mean, they really only had a couple of locations in the movie. There were like 4 or 5 actual locations, but they all felt lived in and believable. Nothing felt like a lot of movies or shows I watch now, it feels like you're looking at a set. And I think it's because everything's practical and they try to do everything in camera, all the lighting, all the fog, like everything's done in camera, so it feels real. So
Also, almost all of this was, I don't even think I think it was all practical effects.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I love about it. There
For
was
sure.
some blood, practical. You mean even in the old style, fake blood, fake.
Right.
I actually prefer that type of thing. I think we should bring that back. Stop doing all these digital blood things. Do it more realistically, and then bring the effects in when you really need to sell something that is like not being able to produce. So lean on practical. I think people should start leaning on practical effects and trying to make them the best as possible, and then only use digital when it's absolutely necessary in order to sell the scene, and it should be indistinguishable from reality and actually not look so fake.
Yeah. Well, if you layer it on top of those practical effects, it's much more believable.
I think the classic example of that is The Sting. When you look at the scene where the car's driving out onto the pier so you can go to the carnival, there's a shot that looks like it's supposed to be Chicago, 1936.
Are you talking about like Robert Redford and The Sting, like the old
The Sting.
Okay.
And I'm talking about the fact that most of The Sting was practical effects, but most of the backgrounds were CGI or matte paintings. And the deal, or rear projection, not too much rear projection actually, but
That's a long time ago to be doing that kind of stuff.
rear projection goes back to the 20s.
That's amazing though that they did it so well.
In The Sting, if you didn't know any better,
I don't even know, bro.
Shot it in
You're
Chicago.
speaking brand new news to me. I've never even heard this before. That's crazy.
No, I just watched a documentary about it, and
wow, I gotta watch that now.
I was astounded. Because I'd always appreciated how well that was done in that film. But but this film actually is even more earthier than that. This is kind of almost to the Chainsaw Killer, Texas Chainsaw Killer level of earthy for set design and usage of practical.
So I can't believe that they did
Yeah.
that on that.
Oh no, there's all kinds of examples. The key is that one shot I just mentioned. Do you remember it?
Yeah, but I wonder if I go back and watch it now, if I'm maybe going to pick it out a lot easier.
Or you won't have any difficulty.
Okay.
Once it's seen, it's on. You can't unsee it.
Right.
Then you know what to look for, and you go, oh, I get it.
I must have been really young when I saw that.
Most of that film was shot in actual location, real places that still exist. So that's what this show did. Though of course they were very much, All
right, so where are we on this particular show here? We talked about, discovery and transformation, how he basically he was drinking out of that bottle. Obviously he was drinking the head vampire's blood.
Or the second head.
And no, it's Max's blood in the
Is it Max's blood? I thought it was David's.
No, it's Max's because Max is the
head
vampire.
Said David's at one point. I must have missed where they said it was Max.
Yeah. I don't think they said that. But
Star said it was David's blood.
We just got done talking about practical effects.
Right.
And
the makeup.
The makeup was good. Like I wonder who did it. It was like Clive. Who did it? You think was it?
I did not recognize the name.
Baker or something. I should look.
No, it wasn't Baker or Winston.
Okay.
I don't know who it was. I'd have to. I'm not in a spot to look it up real easily.
So now we did talk about the climax and stuff. Is there anything else that we want to touch on? Did you want to touch on anything, Anthony, that you were thinking of?
Well, they're just. I think you kind of touched on it earlier, but I just like that there's this clear cut between the good and the bad. Like there's no gray area. You know what's right and you know what's wrong, and there's a dysfunctional family. And there's a functioning family that maybe is about to fall apart, but they pull it back together at the end.
Right.
And I just think that's kind of it's an excellent story, and you don't see much of that anymore. So
kind of everyone had a happy ending, didn't it?
Yeah, it really had. Yeah.
And a bit of a redemption arc for Star and the little guy.
Yeah. So.
And also Michael, really. Do what? What did I mean, I don't really, I can't really make an advance on what Anthony just said. That really that nails the core of the film, that it's definitely.
I think you had pointed out to me, even before we started talking, you really liked how they did the creative camera techniques of the vampire flights.
Right. We've gone over that here in this session also. I've mentioned it. In fact, I added to it by saying that it made them. So now we're actually in the film in some psychic sense or some mental sense, and so now it's partly our job to put an end to this evil.
Do we all agree that it was funny? Was there enough comedy to call it a comedy?
Oh yeah, I think so. There's a couple of lines in there that are so funny. I laughed out loud.
I did. I laughed a lot too.
I agree. I laughed. I had a good time.
You can beat this out, but my favorite line is when he says, Michael, you're a damn shit-sucking vampire.
It's funny. It's funny. Like, yeah.
But see, that's the deal. It was just enough and not too much. Because otherwise they're gonna trivialize the horror.
Don't tell Mom.
Because you don't want to minimize the threat here. You don't want to make the vampires comical, for sure.
Yeah. And they definitely didn't. Those vampires.
And so they didn't, and that was good. The one scene. Oh, there's one scene that I really enjoyed, where the kid. Why do we not remember the kid's name? Corey Haim character name, but we don't. But anyway,
in the movie?
What was the character's name?
Michael's
brother.
Sam.
Tim?
No, Sam.
I got it.
Sam. Thank you. Okay, so Sam goes into the comic book store for the first time, and the two Frog brothers start rank on him, thinking he's just a newbie. And then he goes, well, you can't put this comic with that comic. This is from this age and that's from that age. And you can't do this one over here. And they're all like, dude. I totally went Friday Night Tights for a minute, because there's a guy who runs a video every, like 3 or 4 hours every Friday night, ranking on pop culture movies. And his job in San Francisco for 10 years was running a comic book shop. Yeah. And so that's just the kind of thing he'd say. And so it cracked me up. I thought that was a great scene to establish Sam as having some substance.
He did.
He wasn't a kid.
And I think I don't know how old the director was at this time, but he really had an understanding of the culture at that time, like youth culture at that time period.
Sure.
He
Like
did.
it's not like he
He
was
look
just,
he looked
you know,
like the kid that came from the city. I mean, he's wearing clothes that I wore to
yeah,
my graduation. You know,
exactly. I mean, I was like
the
10 years
padded
old, I
the
think.
padded Don Johnson Miami Vice look we
Oh
had
yeah,
going on.
it was super. Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know who did. I don't know who was in charge of costumes. The costuming was very good, and you got to give credit also to the assistant directors, because there was never dead air in the rest of the frame.
hmm,
Whenever there was action going on in the front, and there happened to be somebody in the background, they were doing something. They
yeah,
had a story. They had a place they were going, things they were doing, people they had to see, and that keeps the film live, and it gives it texture. And when you're missing that, the film ends up looking like Shakespeare staged by high school students,
yeah,
and
exactly.
it's just dead. So he did a great. The assistant directors did a good job with the background extras and so forth. So I can't criticize it on any measure. Its aspirations weren't all that high, maybe, but
It's like one of those little. It's another one of these kind of little sleeper gems that people, if they throw it in, they're gonna enjoy it. They're gonna have some fun. It's not that bad to watch. I put it like, honestly, some TV is more serious than this movie was.
Yeah, I think what's funny too is, I just watched it again for the first time in years last night, and in my head, I thought it was a lot more violent than it actually was. Like I
Yeah.
just remember it being a more serious, violent movie, but it's just not.
well, because those last scenes are
Yeah,
are so impactful that way.
yeah, yeah.
The rest of the film was in fact a slow, steady crawl,
Yeah, yeah.
and they didn't want, and he didn't, and it's important also because otherwise the trap doesn't work. This is
Hmm.
the vampires are playing the long con with Michael, and so they can't expose themselves until they take out the surf Nazis, right?
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
the scene where the film takes a definite left turn into gore.
yeah,
And
yeah.
even there's nothing, not
It's not
what you'd
bad.
see in your average originals episode.
No,
And
yeah. No, and it happens super quick. Like
yeah,
you get hints of like a scalping and you get hints of him biting someoe's head, but it happens so quick that it
right,
doesn't.
absolutely. The only real hint we get anywhere in the early part of the movie is the security guard,
Hmm. Yeah. And he just gets
right?
lifted up into the sky, right? Is that what
Right.
happened?
And
Yeah,
so that's the first time we don't even know what's happening there at
yeah,
all. If we're going in just saying, okay, I know nothing, then we don't know. Of course, we go in, some of us who kind of like study vampires a little bit know that they fly. So
yeah,
we're like, oh, I wonder if this is, because I've heard that this is about vampires. So maybe,
yeah.
so we're cheating a little bit, cheating the film, not letting the film tell its story a little bit. But
Do you think do you think people that watched the movie in '87 got the Peter Pan reference? Do you think it was that
I kind of
on
wonder
the
if it's
nose?
because I think if you're well read enough, and I think you're into that symbology and stuff, I think it comes like at a certain age. I think
Yeah.
we start getting older, we start being interested in that. So I think the older folks, I guarantee there's probably some people who saw these parallels. But yeah, it seems like a lot of this stuff was people were missing. At least when I was younger, I wasn't seeing as much as I'm seeing right now. I don't know why that is, but I definitely see a lot more symbology deliberately put into things on purpose.
Yeah.
see, and of course, I'm what, 20 years older than both of you. So for me, that film wouldn't really have been that appealing
Yeah,
when it came out for me. I can appreciate it now. I really like it now. But there's a lot
sure.
of films I've liked in the last decade that I either would never want to see or watched and hated when I was a kid. And then there are other films I've watched when I was a kid and I can't watch them anymore. So it just age has a thing about that. Also, partly because in '87 I was to tell stories out of tell a family secret. Blazing Saddles reference there. Dutch Dutch uncle. I lived that kind of cyberitic life, and I don't know if others did too. But so it would have been uncomfortable for me seeing that film at that time when my eldest daughter was 7 years old. So it would have been weird.
Sure.
And now
My
it's
youngest is scared of the Dark Crystal, so she's 8 years old.
entirely
Oh,
understandable.
She can't even watch it.
It
I
still
like that
freaks
film,
me
by
out.
the way. I do like the Dark Crystal a
That
lot.
movie's so uncanny.
Isn't it?
Yes.
I love Jim Henson movies, man. I
I mean,
love
me
them.
too. It's just I can see why it's like it's believable enough that it really
Yeah.
creeps me out.
She creeps out, dude. She creeps
That
out. That one.
labyrinth, man, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Those type of it has like a certain feel. The '80s has this look,
Yeah.
even
It
if it's like, I mean, the Never-Ending Story has some of the worst animatronics
oh my Lord.
of ever, and I still love that
The
movie.
Wish Dragon was almost a failure, wasn't he? Almost a failure. Yeah,
Look
I
like
wanted to believe so
big,
much in the character, I let it go. But
strong hands, don't they?
It's so good. Oh man.
oh
Look,
Lord.
a delicious looking limestone.
Oh, he was. Oh, I loved him.
Uh,
Oh, that's anyway. That was a film that almost made it. That
Well,
almost made it. Almost made it.
we
Never ending
definitely
story
have
made it.
a myriad of films to add to our list of deep
Yes, we
dives.
do.
And I
Oh,
appreciate both you guys being here today.
no problem.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank you.
very much. And all of you guys out there, make sure you tell us what your favorite part of the Lost Boys movie was down in the description below. And if you have any questions for us, go ahead and call us out and let us know where we were wrong, where we were right, what you agree with, what you don't agree with. And thank you, Anthony, Paul, and
Thank you.
Glad
Well-
to see you, Anthony. I hope
Yeah.
I hope that we can become a three-part, a trilogy again.
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely.
I mean, this is where this works really well by my mind. I really enjoy it this way.
All right.
Have a good one,
Okay.
guys. We'll see you
Take it
guys on
easy.
the next one.
Peace.
Peace out.
All right, I'm just going to stop the recording here.
Word.